na 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 na
Square
na
Round
na.
You know, you need to tune in if you want to hear So we Chad, Josh, Demetrius, and Marcus every Friday.
It's the Square Round Table.
Tune in.
It's the Square Round Table podcast. Tune in every Friday. Let's have a blast. I know at work you had a long day. Just relax and tune in.
Make sure you tune in weekly, every Friday. MajorsOnMusic.com. We also tune on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. So yeah.
What's going on, my freaks and geeks? This is the Square Roundtable podcast. I want to thank you all so much for joining us tonight. This will be our fourth podcast of 2021. And yeah, guys, tonight we have a very special guest coming all the way from California. Please give it up for the super talented voice actor, Mr. Alan Lee.
Having me. Good to be
Yeah,
here.
man. Thanks so much for coming out to chat with us tonight.
Yep. Nice.
Welcome. Yeah.
Definitely. So how's everything been going for you, man? Like definitely since the pandemic and having to quarantine inside. How have you been doing this past year?
I hate to admit it, but I feel like I'm one of the actual rare cases and circumstances where I'm actually doing better since the pandemic started.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's what's up, though.
Yeah, I don't have to go to studio. I can record at home, and then, with just everything sort of happening right now, I'm getting more work than I've ever seen.
Awesome.
Landed a few big projects, got lucky and, got good. So it's good. It's, I don't mind where I am right now, but I can't say that for everyone, right?
Yeah.
On everyone's behalf. I can only say that for me, and so I feel a little guilty, survivor's guilt, but
yeah,
it's good right now.
That's good.
No, it definitely is. And like I say it all the time, we talk to so many people, or we've talked to them during, quarantine. And a lot of people say the same thing. It's you've had a chance to get a lot of personal goals out of the way. I know certainly for me and my guys here, we started this podcast because of, quarantine. I've been able to do more things and on my end with science communication and stuff like that. A lot of stuff that I really wouldn't have gotten a chance to do if I was really going about my daily activities like usual. But yeah, certainly I can stay the same. For me, it's definitely been not the greatest for a lot of people, but definitely I have a little bit of that guilt too, because a lot of just positive things has happened personally since having the quarantine.
Word. Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, man, I just wanted to talk a lot about the anime that you're in right now, a lot of the stuff that you've been doing since quarantine. And I guess we'll get into that a little bit later, but I wanted to know more about you, kind of your background. So first of all, how long have you been a voice actor professionally, and what sparked your interest in this career or this career path?
Depends on how. Okay, so to answer the first question, it depends on how you want to see it. So I started off. So I started out while in school training for acting and voiceover, specifically voiceover in 2007. And then I got my first gig in 2009. And then after I wrapped up with school, I moved out to LA in 2013. And then my first gig was Gargantia through Bang Zoom. And then I left for almost immediately after. The next year I had to leave just to help with family finances. And then I got a job at Stanford for 2 years. And then they went away when my mom got remarried. So, but 2017, late 2017, I got back in the game, and then things have been happening. I joined, I went union and got an agent, and so I don't know. It's either 07, 09, 13, or it's 2017. I mean, however you want to see it, right?
Got you, right.
Yeah. There's a few false starts, but we got there in the end. So.
No, exactly. You're right.
Yeah.
The end result was there. So.
Yeah. But what was the second question was how'd I get into it, or?
Well, like kind of like what sparked your interest, just in acting, period. Not like, you know, voice acting specifically, but just, you know, this career path, acting as a whole.
Fear.
Really?
Fear. So
In
when
what
I was
way?
when I was a little kid, I have a stepbrother. And I'm just gonna call him my brother for the story's sake. But like, my brother rented from Blockbuster. There's a movie called Office Space, which is like a dark comedy about
Of
office
course.
culture. You know, with the red
Yeah.
stapler and everything.
Yeah.
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 I watched that as a little kid, and was scarred by that because it was depicting a world, and again, you know, when you're that young, you can't differentiate what's real and what isn't, right? And so, like, I basically saw my brother in that exact same scenario, being at a dead end job that he hates, you know, like at a tech startup, you know, like coming back home and just trying to drown his sorrows in whatever medium, you know, usually video games or whatever.
Right.
And I just remember him just hating life then, and you know, I was like, oh my god, this is real life. This is like modern life right now. So like from then on, I vowed to never ever have an office job or like an office career, and I would figure out what I wanted to do early enough in life
Yeah.
that I could go towards that and do that instead. So technically fear, but like, you know, like as a kid growing up, you don't know what's out there. I mean, like, you know, basically fireman, policeman, and like lawyer.
All the
right?
basics, right?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course,
doctor.
of course. Yeah, doctor, exactly. No, my mom, I mean, I'm Asian, so like you can imagine how that was like. Yeah, my mom wanted me to be a dentist. She's like, you're
Oh,
good
wow.
with your hands and you're gentle, and I'm like, but they have the highest suicide rate, so no.
Was anybody in your family, like your like father or anything, dentist or anything like that?
No, she just wanted that for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was weird because like I would go through and I would like try to figure out like things that I wanted to try out. I think it started off with writing, and then went into like law, and then I realized I like Law and Order more than I did law. So
Right. Like,
and then
don't we
and then
all?
I
though?
tried
Right.
like and then I tried like I tried like I was like gonna be like a video game developer and like do pixel art and
Oh, I want to do that too. Yeah.
and be an artist and all that sort of stuff. And I realized, no, I like the mediums more than I do the actual jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and you know, by the end of high school, I was just really stuck. And you know, I was talking with my cousin who's an editor in Hollywood, and he gave me great advice. He was just like, well, try to figure out like the common thread between everything that you've been trying out, and you know, try something from that common thread. And I was looking back and I was realizing, oh, it has to do with like what I grew up on, like my childhood, like video games, like TV, like it had such a huge impact on me. And I was like, well, what's the most fun you've ever had as a kid? Like, that's the question I came up with, which was brilliant in my opinion. But like, no, but like, I was like, what is the most fun? And I was just like, playing pretend. You know, everyone played pretend. It was the most fun you ever had as a kid, like unadulterated, right?
Right.
And I was like, so why not do that? Why not play pretend? Why not be the character? What about voice acting? And so I looked into it, and I found out, you know, because I'm from San Jose, and then I found out that there was like a voiceover conservatory in San Francisco. So I took a train there, and I took an intro class, and the moment I stepped in front of the mic and like did a thing for the class, I knew that was what I was going to do for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, that's specifically voiceover. I mean, I had been doing acting, you know, for like at like summer camps, as well as like just on the side, you know, like just for fun. So I've always had a side of performance to me. I just didn't connect it as something I can do as a career. But yeah, that's when I really like sparked an interest for acting and voice acting. Ironically, as I was telling you with you guys earlier, but I grew up on anime. I had no intention to actually be an anime voice actor. I wanted to do commercials.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I wanted to do commercials because I like that's where all the money is. And like my deal that I cut with my mom was like, selling her on it was, I will do commercials because that's where the money is, so you don't have to worry that I'm an actor. And yeah, that didn't last long because I got dragged into anime somehow, chasing a girl, and then I got noted for my talents, and then they're like, "You're really good. You should like audition." And then 2013, going to 2014, I did my first audition, which was for Gargantia, and I booked it, and then I was like, oh, "Okay, this is gonna happen."
Right.
So flash forward to now, I love it. Like I can't imagine my life without it. Yeah, that's how I got my start. So.
Oh wow. So I
Yeah,
find it
it's
interesting. Oh, go ahead, Josh.
but yeah, Ellen, that's real interesting. Like, how was the auditioning process like? Is it how people think it is on TV, where you have a whole bunch of people on a bench trying to go into a real quiet room, or
You know,
what?
you know what's weird is it used to be like that. It used to be like that before I got onto the scene. I would hear stories about how people would just go like from studio to studio to do an audition and then be called in and wait for like a time slot. And like being at the studios where people met and like, you saw their faces. You're like, oh, you're this person. Oh, nice to finally put a, face to the name. No, but nowadays it's all online. The internet sort of changed, not sort of, but completely changed everything. So I don't go into the studio to audition anymore. I get an email from the casting director or from my agent, and then they're like, hey, these are the details. Record, this script, send it in, and then, pray to God.
Right.
Yeah, no, but that sort of fell to the wayside. Like that. What's weird is that I actually did go into the studio for a few auditions. So I guess that's still technically a thing. I believe sometimes at Nickelodeon, like this is pandemic, but like at Nickelodeon or Disney, like if they had like major roles that had like callbacks, they would actually bring you into studio and then you would like record in front of whoever, was the casting director. So it does technically exist, but the majority of the time I'm usually just in the booth, doing a number of auditions and then sending them away.
Oh, okay. So is that process like it's mostly for like a prelay thing, or is it like did they do that a lot for dubbing?
I wouldn't say a lot for dubbing. I would say I've gone in, like I had the opportunity to like I got to ask, hey, can I come in and audition in front of you, Mr. or Mrs. Mr. or Miss Casting Director.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, come on in, and then we'll like, because I was like, I figured like, if they know what they want and they can adjust my performance to what they want, I have a higher chance of getting it. That's actually how I booked Gargantia. I actually went into studio, and they're like, okay, perfect, and like adjust it this way, and then I did it, and they're like, all right, we'll see you next time. So
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
No, that's definitely interesting. So the other part of that, I was wondering, so how is it when you've like amassed like a big catalog of characters and people know like what you've done? Like I'll just say for instance, for a role, can you just go in and say, hey, I did this person or I played this guy, and then you'll be like more of a person that people look at for the role? Or is it like a situation where everybody's kind of on an even playing field when they try to get a specific character or get a spot on a certain show?
Oh, I mean, it's so it's a little split. So typically you'll be sent, or at least around here in LA, you'll be sent the auditions for like the main characters, for like the main cast, that like the principal lead actors. And then whoever's the casting director will like cast off of the auditions, and then based off the auditions, we'll cast everyone else. And so like, like if people have a type, like they know, like you don't have to say anything. Casting directors keep in contact, and they check social media and all that sort of stuff just to see. So like if you do another project, like they'll know about it. Word travels fast around these parts. So like I didn't tell anyone I got Gargantia, but for some reason I had like 10, 12, like 10, 20 people come up to me while I'm like doing, doing a different thing, being like, hey, congratulations on Gargantia. And I'm like, how did you even find out?
People just got their ear to the ground.
People just got their ear to the ground. I don't know. Like I don't know who broke into it. I don't care. But like, it doesn't matter, whether or not you conceal it. Someone knows and someone was probably going to talk. But like, I mean, it's just human nature. But that being said, I mean, like I'm when I'm autocast, like that's the other thing. When people are autocast, yeah, you get a trope and you have like a pigeonhole or like a trope or archetype that you're usually set as.
Okay.
I have no clue what mine is. I'm usually like I'm either a butler or like I'm some dude with white hair.
Either a
Sometimes
butler.
both.
So is that a better situation to have? That's actually really interesting because I think of that a lot with on-screen actors. Like we discussed in a prior podcast, was like you have your people like Joaquin Phoenix that'll play like anything, like literally whatever, transform himself, and then you have somebody on the opposite end of the spectrum like a Tom Cruise that like he's literally himself in every role. He's that guy. Yeah. So it's just like, is that the same for you guys? Is it a better situation where people are just like, okay, Alan plays this type of guy and we're going to just constantly give him that, or is it better to just have he can do anything?
It's about the same. Acting is acting. I mean, like if it exists for on-camera stuff, it exists for voiceover as well. People are known to do. I mean, like Kellen Goff is known for creatures, right? Like he's known for that. Ben Diskin is like a utility player. So like if they can't figure out who to like how to cast him, they'll usually turn to Ben. If they need like a lead, spunky protagonist character, Zach Aguilar. Alex Lee, you'll get like and like if you want the cool guy, it's probably Johnny Young Bosch, or Robbie Damon, or and so that's the thing is that you'll hear people playing similar characters. So yeah, I mean it definitely exists. It's usually the casting director not necessarily saying like, oh yeah, like this person's played this type of character before, but more so they have an understanding of where that voice and personality fits within the roster of characters that they have to like fill out, and then they just do it like project by project. They're not even thinking about, oh yeah, we're gonna make this person like this type of character actor only. It's just that's how they think, and it just happens to be like that, and we read it that like we read it that way, like oh yeah, Johnny plays all the cool characters. Well, I mean, kind of, but, like, it's not exactly intentional either.
Right. Oh, okay, that's
doing you. You're just doing you.
Yeah.
Right. No. Okay. And one thing that you mentioned earlier, that I thought was pretty interesting. You were saying that early on you wanted to be in commercials, but it doesn't seem like that will be the fun thing to do. You said it makes a lot of money, but you said that the thing that got you into wanting to do voice acting was like pretend. Like there's not too much for
you find the fun in it. It's fun. Like I mean it like it's like going to a Chuck E. Cheese, right? It's like going to a Chuck E. Cheese, and some people will like some kids will be like, obviously it's like they find it fun. Some people will go in and be like, this is dumb. But the reality is the fun's there. It's your job to find the fun in it. Or rather, not Chuck E. Cheese. Let's say an anime convention, right? Some people like love it every single time. They like find what they love, be it like cosplay or finding good merchandise and DVDs or like hanging out with friends or whatever, right? Like, but someone can easily go there really jaded and be like, I've, been there, done that. I've gotten the t-shirt. Like, there's nothing here for me. And all I can say is, like the fun's there. It's just, you got to find it.
You got to find it.
Yeah.
I think there's a challenge, like a puzzle sort of like aspect of figuring out a character or figuring out a read for a commercial. Because it's vague, right? Everything's, conversational. What does that even mean? Technically, it's like what we're doing here. And like, but how do you actualize, like, how do you use that in an actual session? And like, what else do you do with it other than just talk, right? And so like trying to figure out how to make that work is part of the fun for me. I love puzzle solving. So, I mean, You know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like some people find anime to be really, really tedious and not fun at all. And it's certainly not worth the amount of money that we're getting paid for, either. Just, you know, and the fact that like as a dubbing thing, we're not making a whole lot of money here. Like you really gotta love anime to do it for that amount of money and to do something this hard, right? Like we gotta dub to picture, we gotta act, we gotta make sure
crazy.
that the words all come out, you know. So, you know, some people lose their passion in anime and move on to like just being more free with video games and prelay animation. Other people stick with it because it's like, I love it. So, you know, to each their own.
Oh, no, definitely.
Yeah.
I completely understand. One thing you mentioned, though, was earlier with the Chuck E. Cheese. Like, I love how everything now has become so edgy, even Chuck E. Cheese. Like, Chuck E. Cheese is not what it used to be. They didn't say all the fun. Because I was looking online the other day. I'm like, this is a club for kids. Like, this is crazy. Like, they just have, like, a floor and like make it rain, and then like a guy in the Chuck E. Cheese costume just walks out on the floor and makes it rain tokens. I'm like, dude, this is not Chuck E. Cheese.
What is Chuck E. Cheese become, man?
I'm like, what is this?
It's because
They got some of them where they sell like beer.
Whoa! What kind
promise
of?
you,
Where have I
bro.
been? Where have I been? Where Chuck E. Cheese got a
promise you,
note
bro.
on us, man? Like
Promise you.
making it rain with coins, like. Oh.
Chuck E. Cheese is like the LaCroix of fun now. It's just there's like a whiff of fun.
It's like a,
Really, like a ghost of a flavor. Of fun.
But the biggest thing about Chuck E. Cheese is that's weird to me is how they changed the mascot. The mascot Chucky, and he has skinny jeans and like a pair of Chucks, and he has like a faux hawk and like a super duper tight T-shirt. I was like, why does he look like a millennial?
Man, you gotta deal with the times, man. You gotta deal with these millennials, man. It ain't us anymore. We're not the ones that they're talking to now.
I would say they done kicked us to the side now. They like, y'all should have kids now. So
y'all almost
the
30, man. Like,
did they get rid of the jungle gym for like an Instagram bar?
Seriously.
Wait, what?
Exactly.
Hey, take like that. No, I'm just saying, like,
it might as well be that.
What's that
though.
redesign
I would
for?
say might as well.
Right, it might as well. It's like, I mean, it's just really like so bad because we were Alan, we were talking about in our last podcast that we did, and you know it's crazy, you know, like we're all, you know, older guys and we're talking about like, you know, Chuck E. Cheese, but it's just the fact that it's kind of like the nostalgia factor, and it seems like. And I know, you know, you seem like an old man saying, back in my day, stuff used to be, but it's the truth. You know, like we talking about cartoons, and we were comparing and contrasting like the new Teen Titans to what it used to be. And I'm just like, but you can see it. It's like everything now is just like made for toys and stuff. And it's just like without thought, and everything that was like when I was growing up, Adventure Time and, you know, Steven Universe and all. It seems like there was so much heart in those shows.
Real talk. I don't mean to burst the bubble, but real talk though, like it's always been for toys.
Yeah.
From day one. You know why they canceled Young Justice?
Because of toys.
Because of toys.
Yeah.
Because the demographic that was biting was not the young males, like, you know, like preteen or like kid to preteen. It was girls.
It was girls,
female,
yeah.
Female demographic that was, and they don't buy toys.
And I was so angry when I found that out because I was watching it at the time and I was looking it up and I was like, why did they just stop the show? And when I read that, I was like, bro, that is insane. Like, they really canceled the show because it didn't sell.
They didn't have toy sales.
Right, because they figured girls don't buy toys, which is insanity. But like,
it really is.
Insane.
Yeah. I just think that like they had a better way of like disguising the fact that they were selling you toys back in the day. Like they at least put a story. They at least put a story around it. They at least put a story around it.
You ever watch Ninja Turtles? Don't give me that.
Hey! Ninja Turtles it's got a special place in my heart. Okay.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I never watched. Yeah, I never watched one episode of Ninja Turtles. I just like the toys. I did not watch.
Hey, I did. Okay, I was in there from like 02 to like what 04, 05. I was was there. I was at the little boom of it, like the little leftovers, you know.
Yo, I'm still. Here's the thing. I'm a grown ass man, and I'm still looking for Ninja Turtle toys.
Hey,
I have Raphael,
same.
and I'm still trying to find. I'm still trying to find Leonardo right now. All right, like.
Hey, man.
Hey, good luck.
I was like, good luck with that one.
Yeah, you go find that.
But yeah, like you said, Alan, it hasn't been. It's still just as easy. I mean, basically, they haven't made it to where they try to hide they want to sell toys, because every episode they reveal a new transformation or a new sword or a new car, and they have a toy for it next week.
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely. The toys sell, man. The toys sell.
The toys are what sell, man. Yeah.
I guess I'm just a grumpy old man, and I guess.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
Some of those shows had heart, though. Some of them shows had heart back in the day. Like now shows, I don't get no kind of like heart. I'm just like, this is.
There's a couple. There's a
couple, but like most of Cartoon Network, I'm just like,
yeah, it's
kind of. I mean, but it's not made for us, so like I can't really harp on it like that. But
yeah,
but who cares? We watch it anyway, right?
Yeah, like I watch Craig of the Creek.
I mean,
yeah.
So don't ever feel like it's never made for you. It is made for you. If you're watching it, it's literally made for you.
Yeah. I mean, when you put it like that, yeah.
So what were you watching back in the day, Alan? Like, what did you come up on?
Oh man, are you trying to figure out my age? Oh man.
Hey, Alan, probably not by yourself, man. So don't feel bad.
We're probably all around the same.
No, I know. It's just I get it. I'm Asian, so like no, I could be 40 and you had no clue. No, no, but I'm joking. Man, what do you like in terms of what? Are we going back to anime? Or are we talking like cartoons and
like just cartoons in general, like Cartoon Network,
Nickelodeon. I loved Ninja Turtles, like the '87 version growing up, and I probably caught the last bit of it on syndication, like on TV. So like I'm definitely a '90s kid. Love Ninja Turtles. What else? Like X-Men was really cool, but like it was a little like I couldn't keep up with it as a kid because I had no clue. And like, if you missed an episode, like you missed like a whole.
Yeah, you missed the whole thing.
Yeah, just like what is going on? And someone gets knocked out, and Wolverine like, shivs a dude, and but no one dies, right? Like
right.
So, oh gosh, what else? Like I feel like '90s had like a lot of like awesome, but like really really jerky animation cartoons. Like that's what I would call it, like Spider-Man and X-Men and all that sort of stuff. And then they really polished it up. Like, I think it was like the Kids WB era that had like X-Men Evolution and Static Shock. Yo, what happened to Static Shock? Right? Like,
we all are Static fans over here.
Yeah.
Yo, we must talk about Static Shock every week.
Talk about like super awesome aesthetic though, like Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yes,
oh my goodness.
Yes.
Choreography in that.
I was obsessed.
I
was obsessed.
Yeah. Did you? I didn't realize this because they kept replaying the same freaking episodes over and over again. The first season's only 13 episodes.
Wow.
I didn't realize. I thought it was like 26 for some reason.
I did. The way they play.
I had no idea.
Right, and you're just like, oh my god, they kept playing the same 6 first episodes over and over again until like, they brought other stuff out. But yeah, I watched that. I wish I remember everything that I watched, but. I watched whatever was on TV, and like sometimes I would get lucky with a DVD or a VHS. Like anime eventually became sort of like a rarity for me because like the level of stuff that I grew up on, like it was hard to find that sort of stuff without asking your mom like, hey, can we go to like the DVD store and buy this this movie that I'm not allowed to watch
right.
according to the ESRB rating. Or whatever. Yeah, no, Street Fighter Alpha, the animation, that was a huge one for me growing up.
I remember that one.
Yeah, that one's great.
I remember that. Yeah.
That one was gnarly. That was a great thing. That was a great movie to just grow up on. So yeah, I mean like, oh gosh, what else? I watched stuff that like I had access to. I watched stuff that was for girls or whatever, Like Totally Spies was actually a really good show.
Hey,
It was. Nobody talks about that. That was a good
Love
yes.
Totally
That was a good
Spies.
show.
Why is that a girl show? I don't get it. That was just a really
that was just a
That was a really
good
good show.
show.
Yeah. I was watching that with my brother. We were just like looking around the corner, like, is anybody watching us see this? And we just turn it on.
No, it's great. It's
Good
dude.
show.
I still want it on DVD. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a big DVD collection?
I've collected. I realized something at like an earlier age, as in earlier than what I am right now, which is like anime comes and goes. Like I realized that because when I was trying to find like a show that I loved, like for example, Fooly Cooly was out of print for a long time, right? They brought Fooly Cooly on. It was amazing. It was on Adult Swim in like 05 or whatever, and then like it went away, and then DVDs skyrocketed per volume, right? So you had 3 volumes to pick up because they were 2 episodes each volume. Each one was like $75 a pop.
Wow.
And when it came out back at Funimation, way back in whenever it came out again, I realized like the mortality of anime and like the medium. Because licenses are hard, right? I did some research and like they need like 5 separate licenses just to get it into the United States. So once those licenses expire, who knows if it ever comes back? I mean, technically speaking, like Full Metal Alchemist is out of print, right?
Yeah.
Like if you don't have the DVDs and you don't have a streaming service, or it leaves the streaming service, you're boned.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So as a result, I kind of made it my mission in high school to start, like using the spare money I had from whatever allowance I was given to buy DVDs. So I got Gundam Wing on DVD. I got like G Gundam, Outlaw Star. I got Tenchi Muyo, Cowboy Bebop, right? Like basically the whole lineup that I grew up on, because I know eventually there will come a time where that stuff will not be available on like a physical print anymore.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So other shows aside, like anime specifically, I purchase on DVD if I can, because you never know if it's gonna go away or come back.
Yeah, that's
Oh, go ahead, Marcus. Yeah.
Oh no, I was saying I just recently did that with Samurai Jack, because it was before they had dropped like HBO Max and they put like all the Cartoon Network stuff on like a streaming service. But like it was the same thing. I was like, what if I never get a chance to ever watch it again? So I'd rather have a physical copy. And it's funny how you were saying, like I remember you said Blockbuster, because it made me think about VHS. And it's funny because now that I think about it, it wasn't Toonami that introduced me to anime. It was actually my cousin, because she worked at Turner when we were younger. When I think I was in like elementary school, and she used to work for like the part where they aired the cartoons and stuff. So my mom, when she picked us up from school, she said, "Oh yeah, your cousin." She gave me this tape of some cartoon or something that she said they taped, and they had like an extra one or something. So it had like how they used to have the stickers on there, and you could tell like somebody ripped it off. But it had she wrote on there Samurai X, and I was like, Samurai X. I was like, okay. So we popped it in, and it was I think Inuyasha. That's what it was.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was the very first anime I ever watched, and it was dubbed, so it was in in English, and I was like, I don't know what it is. It was cool, but I was like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm too young to understand it right now. I'll come back to this later, but it's cool because that was like my first like ever big thing, introduction to anime, and then like you said back then, it was still something new. Like, in the States, because they weren't, playing it that much on air. So that was my first anime experience. I thought I'd share that story with you guys.
Yeah, that's what's up. We like to hear it.
Because you're saying Inuyasha and Samurai X, and I was like, Samurai X, I believe is Rurouni Kenshin.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I could be wrong. Like I said, it was elementary school, but that was like late 90s. That was a while back.
He's like, wait, hold on, let me correct myself real quick. I might be wrong. Hold on, the story might not be 100% accurate.
You have 100% to correct me because, like I said, I was like 8 when that came out, so I know.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah,
definitely. Like everybody was Inuyasha.
I was not.
You weren't an Inuyasha?
I was not.
What?
Like, I swear on everything. It's the craziest thing is, like, when I was younger, I tried to get into it. Like, I really did. And I just got tired of him saying, what's your name? The main. Yeah, I got tired of him saying that. And it's like, Whisker. I'm like, okay, get on with this. Like, I'm tired of this. And I never went back, but like, I appreciate the what it is. Like, I'm like, okay, I understand you're good, but this wasn't for me. And I have a sequel series out now, so I'm like,
Yeah, I got a story about that actually. You know what's funny is that, like, I was watching Inuyasha. So I would when I found out that Cartoon Network was gonna have like a late night anime block. This feels a little funny saying this, but when I was, like, it was like 2002, I think, that was happening, and they were calling it their action block, right? Like their anime action block. I would convince my parents I would convince my entire family to go to sleep early at around 10:30, so at 11 I could sneak out and watch anime till like 4:00 in the morning, and then wake up at like 8 or 9 or whatever to go to church. But I would do that, and the first thing was Inuyasha. So I was fascinated because I had never seen Inuyasha prior to that. And I was like, wow, this is really, really intense and, like, really cool. And I had no clue what was going on. But, like, I kept watching it. And eventually there's a character named Kohaku that, like, I really liked because, like, it turned out he was, like, spoiler if you're, like, if you're not into it already.
Right.
Like, he's the dead brother of Sango. And Sango was my favorite character at that point. So, like, when I'm sure everyone did this, but when you're sitting there, you kind of, like, sort of project yourself onto a character,
for sure,
right?
Yes.
Like that's like your inner mind playing pretend.
Yep.
So I pretended to be Kohaku, being, like, with this confliction of, like, wanting to like being sort of like controlled by, like, the villain, but and also facing like the main, one of the main characters, who's also your sister and all that sort of stuff. And flash forward to last year,
right?
I am now Kohaku.
Yeah.
Hey.
And so that's
so cool,
so
man.
trippy. Like,
that's awesome.
That is a weird.
That's
that is
dope.
a weird freaking circle to venture.
That's a full circle, man.
Dude,
Yeah,
that is
Complete full circle.
How many people get to say that? That, like, you grew up playing pretend as a specific character in the show, and then you joined that show as that character.
Right.
That's nuts.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's like
is.
everybody's childhood dream. Like, that's
Oh yeah, definitely. Ooh.
I'm still waiting for the moment I get to play Batman in any animated movie.
It's gonna come one day, Marcus.
No, they have the what is it, the next Batman or whatever?
Oh yeah, Future State, the Future State stuff.
Yeah. I just got one. I got the first issue and I gotta read it. So
I heard it was.
I haven't checked it out yet. I don't know if it's any good, but, like,
I heard it's a limited issue of like 4 issues or something like that. But I've seen a little bit of it. It's just not bad. Like, it's not.
Fingers crossed. I want it to be good.
It's not too bad so far. I've been keeping up with all the newer Future State heroes, so it's not too bad. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna definitely have to check that out. I've been looking. I gotta pick me up a copy just for the culture. I gotta have a copy of it. I need it. But yeah. So Alan, were you big on Batman at all growing up? Did you watch the animated series?
Loved it to death. Gosh, it's one of those things where I love it so much I almost don't want to revisit it.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
You know, I think they're doing a newer version of it.
I had the same
sequel, right?
I had the same feeling, Alan. I was on my HBO Max, and I was scrolling through it, and I added to my watch list, and I pulled it up to watch it, and I was like, man, do I really want to watch it again? Because I was like, I feel like it's gonna take something away from what I remember as a child. Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want to. But I was like, it was really good, so you want to watch it again because it's stuff you probably missed, and it's probably gonna blow your mind now if you watch it. So I'm just gonna take baby steps with that one.
Right. Yo,
I mean, it could be like you could be like, remember, you could see something in there that you didn't like or that you missed the first time that you don't like now. Like that could be also a thing too, like where you just kind of didn't notice it and it kind of ruined that show for you. Like that's why I don't revisit. That's why I was cautious to revisit like Batman Beyond. I was cautious to revisit that show because I was like, I saw that in the 90s. I was juiced about it then, but I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it if I open it now. Like,
yeah, I'm like that with Naruto, like because Naruto has because Naruto has a lot of lore, and like I sometimes I might want to refresh my memory, but it just doesn't feel the same.
Oh, shit gets dumb.
Thank you,
oh,
Josh. We're not just talking about that.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah.
Oh no, wait, hold on. But like that specifically, do you remember I was telling you about how I love the Ninja Turtles in 1987 version? Yeah. I tried watching some of that recently. I was like, I wish I didn't. I wish I had just the VHS tapes, not like the remastered like DVDs and all that sort of stuff. Because watching it is just a little painful to watch again.
Oh no!
Like, I'm gonna stick to action figures and make my own adventures and
right.
keep Uncle Phil as Shredder as
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
But Naruto, oh man, yo, who here knew how to do like jutsu? It looked like with like the hand.
Oh yeah.
I know a guy.
My brother did.
I couldn't hit it.
Oh,
I end up. Look, my hands will end up like this if I try.
Like crumpled and all like this. It's like
it's bad, man. I know way too many jutsu.
Yeah.
And I was so cool in 7th grade for that or whatever, like, because I was like, yeah, I could do it. And they're like, wow, you're actually, and I'm like, yeah, oh God, it's so bad.
Like I would. No, it was really bad for me. I would like print out the hand signs on the school computer.
Oh, you did too?
Yeah.
At least you guys know you're not alone in this, right?
Hey, two Brutus. Yo,
man.
Good times. Yo, using the school computer printer to print out whatever, because that's how you customize your folders.
That was the thing. That was such a thing.
Right.
For me, it wasn't really Naruto. My era with that was with Dragon Ball Z. I remember like in middle school, like everybody walking around with big folders full of printed out pictures of something stupid like Super Saiyan 7 Goku or something. They used to have all of those.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. Like,
dumb. God, what is it, like Dragon Ball AF or something?
Oh yeah.
Dragon Ball
Super Saiyan 7 or whatever's coming, and you're just like, shut up.
Right.
This is Super Saiyan 5.
I mean, they did kind of redeem it a little bit in that what was that Dragon Ball Z Heroes show or whatever it's called, like where like all these different random heroes just show up and they fight each other. I'm like, I never seen it, but I've seen little clips, and I'm like,
no, they didn't.
They had Super Saiyan 4 like Broly in there. I was like, what is this?
Super Saiyan 4.
It's terrible.
Yeah, Super Saiyan 4 Broly. Like,
we need to make a petition for Super Saiyan 7 Dragon Ball AF for Dragon Ball Fighters. Like that needs to be a thing. That's
we can redeem Gohan. You know what I'm saying? We can redeem.
Hey, I was just gonna say. I just want to be on the record to say that the Cell Saga is the best saga in Dragon Ball Z.
It's maybe.
I'm gonna say right now, like if you watched it in the dub, it had the best soundtrack, and it had the best promos.
Okay.
Yes. For sure.
Yeah,
like the once again, I am the Prince of all Saiyans. That was hype. That was hype. Right. I will say that. I will say objectively, I don't think Cell Saga is as good as Saiyan to going up to Frieza Saga, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
just me.
I agree.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, that was hype. That was like, I mean, when I still think Dragon Ball, I still think of like the Cell Saga. So I mean, it's doing something right?
Yeah.
No, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends for me. Like, it's just certain things. Like, even when now, like, what are your thoughts on because I like Dragon Ball Super. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I love the like Goku Black. Like, I love what they did with Broly. Like, but you know, and I love Dragon Ball Z because like it knows what it is. You know, it's just like it's not deep or anything. It's just like there's these guys. You know, we're gonna fight. Goku's the best. You know, Vegeta, he's good, but Goku's still the best. We don't care.
I don't like that.
Trunks is the time guy. You know, it's like we just knows what it is. Like, I love Dragon Ball Super.
Wait, so what's the question?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was gonna say, what did you think about Dragon Ball Super?
Oh, what did I think about Dragon Ball Super? I look, I'm glad to watch anything Dragon Ball new, like anything new that's Dragon Ball related. I love it. I'll eat it up. You know, like I watched it when I was, you know, while it was coming out. Overall, looking back, it's good. It's good. You know what I like most about it? I like watching random YouTube clips from the episodes more than I do actually watching the full episodes.
I get that.
Yeah.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like it's that's where it kind of like resides. It's like, oh look, Goku and Beerus are eating ramen and pizza, and I'm like, yeah, that'll put me in the mood for ramen and pizza, sure.
I can watch that for 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, dude, I just want an anime where like where all of them don't fight, they just eat. That I would eat that right up, you know.
I mean, that's
Life.
Food Wars. You know?
I'm about to say.
Like the same 12 frames of animation, like you're splitting between foods. I'd do that for 23 episodes, 23 minutes.
Yeah, I'd watch that. I'd watch Goku and Vegeta all eat food, or like have a food competition or something like that, and then food based.
Exactly.
Keep it light.
Going back, swinging back to Naruto. Naruto, okay, for all the things I can give it flack for, like Naruto actually got me back into the mood for ramen.
Hey.
For a while, I didn't like it. I didn't like the bamboo shoots, or I didn't like that. I like Korean ramen more than Japanese ramen for a long time, and then like Naruto just brought it back, and I was like, yeah, I love Japanese ramen. Blah 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 blah. Let me show my like new anime friends where to get the best ramen in town when they come in for like the convention, and you know.
See, I've never actually had real ramen before.
Oh wow.
Neither have I.
Well, when COVID's not a thing anymore, and we bump at a convention, I'll take you. So
awesome, definitely,
yeah, for sure.
That will definitely be awesome. But yeah, Alan, just some more stuff. I wanted to know about you. When, like specifically, like in what ways because I know you went to school for drama.
Went to UC Irvine for and majored in drama. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, how did that help you with your career in voice acting? Like, what specifically did you learn there? Like, what tools did you take? Like, did any of that help you with your career?
Well, absolutely. You know what's weird is that if I could do it over again, right?
Mm-hmm.
I might even question whether or not going to college was even the best choice for me.
Oh, wow.
Just because I spent like 4 or 5 years at college trying to get a degree, which doesn't do anything for me and like puts me in a lot of debt.
Oh yeah.
But the knowledge that I have accumulated by being a drama major, as well as previously being an English major, and before that a psych and like an anthropology major, like all of that amasses, and like it's interesting because like I knew I wanted to be an actor and all that sort of stuff, but like being in drama makes you do other things. Drama makes you do lighting, it makes you do directing, it makes you do sound, it makes you do costumes, it makes you appreciate every aspect of stage, theater, and the arts, like understanding Shakespeare. Like you actually appreciate and understand how to read Shakespeare and understand it wasn't meant to be read and analyzed, in your own head. You're supposed to read it out loud. If it didn't make any sense to you, it's because it's meant to be, performed. It's not meant to be read. So, like stuff like that. But like the bigger things I would say is that it gave me an understanding and appreciation for the other aspects that I had not yet considered to be important to understand my own craft thoroughly. I'd say I was also a film minor, and taking a lot of film classes,
Nice.
and realizing that, you know, like film is not just about acting, right? Like it's about so much. It's about like a collaboration, and you have to have an understanding to some degree for yourself to like truly understand like how the bigger picture, like the story comes together, and you know what it all means. So I think like shedding light on that has given me like a lot of perspective when it comes to my own acting. You know, like I'll for example, like in real time or like in actual practice, if I get a script early for like say a prelay show that I'm doing, and I get to see like the art animation notes and all that sort of stuff, you know, using my knowledge of framing and you know, like, and you know, like the mise en scène and like the music and like the color schemes and all that sort of stuff, I can pick out little hints of like what my character's doing, and like what their progression as you know within the story and is going to be like and all that sort of stuff, and I can incorporate that into my own performance, because I believe that like any knowledge can be useful to you as an actor. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it just enriches the entire process for me, I believe. You know, my principles in drama.
Oh wow! So a lot of the technicals, just like knowing, I guess, other people's jobs helped you appreciate the bigger picture of it all, kind of.
Absolutely, yeah. That was like a long-winded way of me saying that to what you just said in one sentence. This could have been over like 20 minutes ago if I didn't stop rambling.
No, it's okay.
It's all good.
No, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But no, that's great because I mean,
we'll cut that in post, right?
yeah, we'll just cut all this out.
Yeah. Chop here, chop
just
chop
summarize
there.
it for me, and I'll be like, there you go, exactly.
Right. Or we're just gonna cut it all to one-word answers. Just
Yeah.
But no, that's good stuff because we talked to a lot of voice actors, and I just like to see, and we're big on education as well. So that's why I always like to see like how, you know, education affected your career, or how do you think, you know, it would have been if you didn't do it? I mean, because you hear so many different things. Like some people, and I guess because, you know, people are different. Some people don't think, you know, that education in certain things, you know, help them out. You know, some people think, oh yeah, I definitely needed this. If I didn't, you know, my understanding would be completely different. You know, so it's always interesting to know for every specific person, like how that affected them. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So the other thing. Oh, go ahead, Josh. You wanted to go? You can go ahead, man.
No, I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. What's up?
No, I mean, well, I was gonna ask you, Alan, like, yeah, like, what's your process in getting in the character, and how do you like work out all the kinks, basically?
Okay, so it depends on the medium, right? So the way that I figure it out is maybe like 2 or 3 things. Usually in general, right? Depends on if it's anime, depends if it's like a video game, or if it's like prelay, right? Like Western animation. So for anime, typically, like if you have any understanding of anime, a lot of anime and the trends that it, like if you have any information on the trends of anime, you'll know that the majority of characters are cookie cutter. They're very much cut and paste. They're very, very like, this is the archetype, right? Like you can make an argument that Luffy, Ichigo, Naruto, and Goku are the exact same character, for
I
example.
can see that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you understand that journey. You understand that they're dumb as rocks, that they have this inner power, and they don't give up, right? Like their core philosophies and like the things that like attribute to like what they value might be different, but you know that's what they are. You know, like that's what they are at their core. You know, and you can find that all throughout. You know, like anime. You know, like the rivals. The rival is usually the same. The rival, like Sasuke, And you guys already know what I'm talking about without me even saying it.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
You know that they,
Right,
they're the
yeah.
cool type, but they have a single track mind, and it's usually vengeance or like honor or something like that. That they're so focused on that they can't see every other person going gaga over them.
Right.
They might on the surface be like really cool about something, but they have some deep insecurity about themselves, usually sort of like reflected upon by the main character that they have to like fight with, and then that becomes like a conflict. And stuff like that. Girl characters, we can go into it all, but like understanding archetypes, being like, this is sort of that sort of type of character, is really, really useful. And you're like, okay, so I kind of know how to like portray that, right? Like you practice it and all that sort of stuff. If like you're going for a main character, everything's very, very but everything's like very, very new, and you're just trying to bring it in, and and you just want to really try hard, right? Versus like someone who's who's like the older brother, like he's much more sure of himself, and so everything he says is matter of fact or like jaded with opinion, so he'll always talk downwards this way, and like there's that sort of like cool like element twang to it.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say that a lot of tropes, like understanding tropes in anime, really help. And then like you add sort of like the description, like what they tell you in the description as part of your like performance, being like, oh, like this is the reason why like he is this way, or like this is what his goal is, or all that sort of stuff. And then you just go down the audition, and like you figure out what he wants, who he's talking to, how he feels about that person. I would say it's sort of like standard basic acting sort of stuff, understanding who you are and what your relationships are and what your story might be. When it comes to prelay, they'll give you a description that's usually written by an intern, because the writers don't have time to actually make the side, so they have someone else in studio do that, and then they'll give you a picture. I base 80% of my performance off of that picture. Is he small?
Wow.
Is he big? Is he large? Like how does he carry himself? How's his posture? Does he have confidence? And that's the thing, is that like just someone as someone who observes just people, and just listens to like how, like observes how people like are, you can figure out how they sound based on their posture usually, or like what kind of kicks they have, or like how they dress themselves. So that'll all like go into play when it comes to creating the character. And then you pick something that like stands out to you, like if he has like a big nose or chubby cheeks or like big eyes, and you'll incorporate that into your performance. And that's just one of many choices of how that character can be played, but you pick something that rings true with you, and then you try it, and if they like it, they choose you. If not, you move on. Video games, it's same thing, where it's like like if you play Call of Duty, what it's supposed to sound like if they're doing call outs for like a war game. If it's like if it's sci-fi, Diablo usually does the trick, or like World of Warcraft or fantasy. Or if it's like something like Square Enix, Final Fantasy, or like, I don't know, most anime will give you an understanding of how the character is supposed to sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like there's no real like original idea. It's all sort of like been done before, and it's just your job to pick out through the pile to see, like what's there, and then put them together and create a new character based on those things.
Yeah. So basically when you try to figure out the character's behavior, they don't let you like see any footage of the anime, or you just go off of pictures?
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they won't have it. Like I auditioned for an anime that wasn't even animated yet, so I had no clue what the animation looked like. Sometimes a different scenario was they didn't finish the animation, but they had like the animatics, like the animatic boards.
Oh, okay.
Of like the direction, and they'll be like, dubbed to that. And you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but like you figure it out, right?
Yeah. You get there.
Those of you aboard, like, hey, just make it work, guys.
Yeah.
Just make that work.
Yeah, they'll dub to you. They'll animate to you. No, sometimes they don't give you anything because they're just like, we don't want you to do what the Japanese are doing at all.
Oh,
like,
okay.
just do your own thing, and you're like, why? Like,
but it's right here already.
It's already here. You got that. That makes it easier.
I got the source material right here. Why are you telling me to throw it away?
Because you know, at the end of the day, no one's actually like, oh yeah, they just want what I was gonna do. No, they're gonna go to Crunchyroll and look up what the hell this anime is, watch like a clip of it, and be like, all right, I know what the character's about now. Sheesh. You know. But yeah, I mean, like you'll do like you'll do like 2 takes. Then you'll do one where it's like, okay, this is where like the Japanese sort of lives, and then if they want like one that like is like just uniquely you, then you'll just do something that you would normally do and what feels, you know, comfortable.
What's been the case for you most of the time? Was it a situation where you did what kind of like was already existed, or did you just kind of do your own thing?
Oh yeah, it's about 50-50. I mean, like it depends on the studio. I'm not gonna say which studio wants what. Just because I don't know if I'm allowed to. I don't know what I'm allowed to say or not. But they, you know, if they provide a clip, I'll use it. If they don't provide a clip, I don't get anything. So, like, they'll usually say, but I'd say it's about 50-50, you know, in terms of like getting a clip or not.
Oh, so what's the because one thing I thought was interesting, we were talking about different types of anime characters, because of course like you got your Gokus and like your Luffy's, and Goku is Goku, like always, like everything else changes around him, but he's the same person. Like a character like Edamura, who's like pretty he's not really that confident, and then he slowly becomes a different person towards the end of the, you know, that's not really a spoiler, but towards the end of the anime. How is that like having to jump into a character that has different kind of like, I guess, mannerisms, or different, like they act totally different at different points of the anime?
It's fun. I mean, like, just to see the character grow and develop, and you actually, like, the director had notes as to like what has actually happened to that character and like what to implement, and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, because I was doing, when I was recording for the show for season 1, or I call it part 1 because it's really just one giant season, right? But part 1, when it was cases 1 through 3, like I was doing all 3 at the same time.
Oh wow!
So I had no clue, and you sort of just lean in, you just lean on your director for that, and you just trust them, because they've seen the show back, you know, like front to back, like multiple times, because they have to write it or, you know, like make notes about character quirks or tics or whatever. We played around with some and in the beginning, and then we sort of just like chose what stuck. I think we're trying to make edamame like blue collar and add like slang and stuff like that in the beginning, and eventually it was just me. Right, like it's just like I'm blue collar, and I'm down to earth enough. I'm middle class ish, lowish enough where I can do that. But you know, obviously the show didn't come out like beforehand, so I had nothing to refer to except for the few clips that they gave me. And so the challenge there was in the, at least the initial audition process, was like getting sort of the right energy and tone of the character, right, like down first, because that set the stage for everything else, right? Once you have the character, like that core character down, and see what they're about, you know, where their insecurities come about, and like when they're in their element, like then you have everything else, right? Like it's just like adding this and that, and you just do it. But I don't even know what the question was anymore.
No, you're good. No, it was just basically just talking about following the character over time, and they act one way towards the beginning, and then they're a totally different person towards like the later part of the I guess season or episode.
Oh yeah.
So like character progression, right?
I'm doing it as I'm dubbing it. You know, like because there's times, there's chunks of the animation I don't get to see because, you know, 2 characters are having a moment and I'm just off screen doing something else, right? So I don't really get to see the development, and he might have heard off camera and I don't know. But like it was fun discovering it, you know, as I was dubbing it, but like I definitely had to lean into my director for that, because, you know, what else are you gonna do?
True.
Yeah. I think that's the only way I can answer that question. So,
and and something that I thought was interesting was because I love the I think it was in the first episode, the dialect change. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
that,
the accents and stuff like that.
Yeah, with Edamura and I can't remember his Laurent.
Laurent.
Was that you doing both voices?
So I was not the one. So I did not speak Japanese. That was just the Japanese track. But the English.
Okay.
Yeah, that was me.
Okay.
So people were like confused that like at first like, oh wait, it's still subbed, and I was like, no, that's my scream in the beginning. The help me.
Yeah.
That's me. So I'm just like, if you compared the two, you would have found out. But like, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, that was interesting because we actually had no clue what was gonna have an accent and what wasn't when we did that. So I actually dubbed a few other scenes that never made it into the final thing because they decided to go a certain direction, right? Like, like in the beginning when, like, again, this is not really spoilery, but like, he's like fixing the water faucet thing, that he's doing that scam in the beginning. That was in Japanese. We dubbed that entire thing originally. Because we didn't know if it was going to be in English or not. But they decided to make it Japanese. And it was only when he spoke English that I dubbed him over, and I had to do, my Japanese accent, which we were trying to figure out what the accent was actually sounding like. Because in Japanese, it just sounds like him speaking in like an actual like just him speaking English. Right, but in the description within the anime itself, they're like, oh yeah, like the accent is like a weird jumble of accents. So I was like, okay, so we have to take like standard Tokyo, we have to take like Osaka, we have to take, what was it? I forgot what they're actually called, but like it's like Korean people speaking Japanese, and like.
Kind of mix it
and like
together.
different accents, and we're just trying to play with it, and like I was fusing accents together, and what we ended up with, because they're like, oh, it sounds like a weird jumble of accents. So I was like, okay, so it's like a really bad Japanese accent.
No, that's hilarious, because I love, like, even when the dialect change happens, like later on, they keep they're like, what are you saying? Like, your accent is trash.
Your so thick.
Right,
yeah.
they're like, your accent is trash. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was like, fuck you.
Oh man,
it's funny, but yeah, Alan, how did you even stumble across the having the opportunity to voice Edamura? Like, how do you? And that also kind of goes into how you advertise yourself.
How I advertise myself?
Yeah, like how do you advertise yourself
to like studios?
Yeah, like how would you advertise yourself to land roles like that?
Well, okay, so that was through NYAV, and NYAV's casting director is Stephanie Shea. Who's done like a whole bunch of stuff, and like, so she has her own like roster. She has her own Rolodex of actors, because like NYAV is an independent sort of studio, and they have their own resource pool. And Stephanie was nice enough to be like, hey, like on a like in a sort of like message to people, being like, hey, like we're looking for, like we're opening up our pool to like certain people, like we have the show coming up, like we might need accents and blah blah blah, like, and so if you know anyone, like do that. And so I was like, I just wrote an email, and I was like, hey, hi, I'm such and such, and here's my demo reel and blah blah blah. And she's like, great, here are the auditions. And then I got the auditions. They wanted accents in the audition. They wanted someone who could do the accents. But if they couldn't find anyone, they're like, it's okay, you don't have to do the accents if you don't feel like comfortable doing, because people doing Asian accents who are not Asian is kind of faux pas right now.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I kind of sounded like the character, and I could do the accent, so they're like, perfect.
Ooh.
So I wish I could give you a more spectacular answer, but like, It was just like any other audition, to be honest.
Like I got there last in the rain, and
yeah, and they're like, hold it, and and then they're like, hold it. All right, we have one more person. Fine, let him go. And then they ran out of tape, and I got the part. No, they no. I auditioned like any other schmuck, and then they chose me. No, but like I would say, like if I were to say anything to like in addition to that, just being connected. I mean, like in the voiceover community, really helps. And like I know I saw that email because like a lot of my other like colleagues did, but I know people who didn't, because they just weren't in the know. And I think if I were to find something like that or something similar down the line, it's because I did, the social networking thing, meeting people, having my presence known, and my body of work known. And so even if I haven't met someone, they can be like, oh, you're Alan, I've heard you in such and such, you're great. Because people talk. So that's important.
Yeah. Okay. So networking is a really big thing. Oh, okay. And one thing, speaking of like social networking, like I was looking on your Instagram and I saw your studio. Did you guys get it all the way up and running?
We did. We ended up doing that. I didn't take pictures. Here's the thing: is that like I opened my Instagram account like right as COVID was happening, and then when quarantine happened, I was like, what the fuck am I gonna take pictures of? The same booth at different angles? Like,
this is my house again.
I stay home, and I don't want to take pictures outside because I don't want some creeper being like, "Oh, I know exactly where that is." Right. So I'm just like, I don't know. I'll take a picture of my food once in a while, but I feel gross doing that. I'm just like,
really?
I kind of do, just because like that's like a really old thing to do with Instagram.
Yeah, that was back in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I hate the vanity aspect of taking like a boothie with like, you know what I mean? Like, cause it's just like, oh, look, it's me in a booth in like a different studio. Hey, this one's the exact same thing, but in a different studio. And who cares? Like, so I don't know what to do with my Instagram, but yes, we do have it up. I am using the booth. It is what I use to record Great Pretender in, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. So it works.
How long did it take you guys to get it all together?
I want to say maybe a couple hours, honestly.
Really?
It's not too bad.
It was just we just put the frame together. This is basically a glorified blanket fort. I mean,
that's
it's
a good way of looking
piping,
at it,
and then I just put like heavy duty like moving blankets on it, and that's it.
Oh, wow.
It's hot AF in here. So
I mean,
that's
just bring like a little fan.
Nah, I just open it here and just let the cool air in. But it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so because I'm thinking, because it looked like, I'm like, oh, that's gonna take like a year or something. Like it just looked like really.
No, I'd done it before. I had built this booth before in a different apartment that I was in, and then I had to put in storage for a while, and then when I moved to the location that I'm at now, we just had to redo it. But I just basically had to get off my lazy ass to do it. That's all it really took.
Hey, I understand. That's the same as all of us. All of us have kind of been like that since quarantine. I'm in sweats right now. It's just like,
You're wearing pants right now.
I'm 100% wearing pants. Yes.
You don't have to show me. I believe you.
No.
You look like you're gonna get up and be like,
Turn the
camera down.
Yes. But yeah, man. But since we've been on quarantine and everybody's kind of been inside, what have you been binge watching lately? Like what anime, any kind of show, whatever. Like what have you been checking out?
Been watching a lot of stuff that I've seen. Just because I miss watching stuff that I like, aka I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I watch good stuff. No, I watch whatever.
Better than your stuff. I watch it.
Yeah. I watch so most recently, because I don't usually binge. I don't have time to binge, or more accurately, I prefer not to binge, just because like our generation grew up with TV a certain way. I'll watch an episode and then do something else because I want that episode to like marinate with me. I want it to stew in my mind. So I'll do that. I'll actually like let it stew for like, a certain time. And then the next day I'll watch the next episode. So that's how I usually go. I know a lot of people don't do that. They usually binge the whole thing in one go, but I'm just like, I mean, the intention, I get the intention, but like to understand, to appreciate sort of the medium more, I feel like you need to like sort of just let it sit with you. But the actual shows, I've been watching Jurassic World, Camp Cretaceous.
Oh wow, really?
Oh,
It's a really good
that's
show.
the animated series.
Yeah, Costner's in it, who plays Abby in Great Pretender, but she's in it. Yeah, it's a great show. It's for a kid show. It's kind of dark, and like there's a lot of actual tense moments, but it's still lighthearted and it's fun. And I don't know, my girlfriend and I were like enjoying that. The Great British Bake Off.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Like something I'll just put on as I'm cooking, like, and then she'll
that's
be
the
watching.
great anime. That's a great anime.
Oh, best anime.
Best ever.
Anime wise, I don't usually binge anime, but if I were to, the closest that I got to was watching the dub of Kuroko's Basketball, which I'm also in, but I just want to see.
Right, yeah. Congrats, it's awesome.
Thank you, appreciate it. I'm really happy to be in that because I remember watching it and be like, God, I wish I could be a part of this dub if the dub ever came out. And then it happened.
And that's another full circle thing.
Not as good as the Yashahime one, but yeah.
Nah, but it's
it's still good. Yeah, it's still good.
Yeah.
Up there.
I without my girlfriend knowing, I was binging Hannibal.
Is that I still have to check that out.
Good.
I've been meaning to watch that. Yeah.
Hannibal's good.
Is that the one with Matt Mikkelsen?
Yeah, that's the one with Matt.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's great.
Yeah,
it's creepy. Yo, just whatever you do, you gotta learn to have a strong stomach with that show though. Just
I bet you too.
I saw this one and they won't even give it away, but I was because you're talking about watching clips on YouTube. I saw this one cello clip and I was like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when I was like, oh my gosh, what is this show? I'm like, I gotta watch this.
Now,
Thank
you, Chad. Now I'm gonna go watch the cello clip.
Yeah, gotta put it on my top of my to-do list.
Oh goodness!
Watching Hannibal Lecter outside of the shows and on the movies, like there's some that I almost like genuinely had to gag on. Just
is that bad? Jeez.
Do you want me to say something that you might not want me to say?
For sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a clip of I believe it's still Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster wakes up, right? She's like knocked out and she wakes up and she's tied. And like Hannibal Lecter like basically like chops off a part of a dude's brain, cooks it and feeds it to him.
Oh yeah, yep. Okay, yeah, that was amazing. I love that scene. It's like I'm such
Marcus
a
is like
gotta check out. Put them on
like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you, Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring.
Right. But no, yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes. This old dude is just sitting there just like, and then like. It's just so cool how chill Hannibal is.
Yeah, he's just like, that's pretty good. It tastes really good. Just
right. Isn't that awesome? That's the coolest mess ever. Have you seen that, Demetrius?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh! Please go watch that scene. After you gotta watch it. It's amazing.
It's on YouTube.
Top of my to-do list, and I got it now.
It is amazing. Yes, but definitely. And what have you guys been binging? Like,
yes, I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead, go do your thing, man.
Oh man, unless you want to go to me, just I'll go first. So I've actually been binging classic Gundam series, like the original from '79, and the original from the '80s. So yeah, I've been binging those, and yeah.
Hey,
they're really violent. Like they can't have a. Like the characters can't have a really intense dialogue without somebody getting slapped in the face. It's like, okay, that's not how you solve your problems.
That's peak 90s anime right there. It's so dramatic.
Yo, you watching dub or sub?
Definitely dub if I can. But yeah, primarily dub. But I mean, I don't mind the sub.
Yeah, the original. I mean,
Yeah.
the original Gundam's dub came out in the 2000s with the Ocean Group, right? So that's like the preferred way to watch because it's like taking 70s animation and putting like a 2000s voiceover on it. For some reason, it makes it classic instead of old or like whatever. It's the same thing with Yu Yu Hakusho, right? Like the reason why Yu Yu Hakusho is so great.
It's me.
Is that it came out in '92, but it got dubbed in 2000.
Yes.
And like, there's just enough like differential where that it just locks into position as a classic anime.
It is a classic anime. I try to tell people, yo, watch it. And it's like, I don't know, man. The animation's bad. I'm like, it's 90s peak animation.
I mean, they can't say that because that's the same thing with Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
like, Dragon Ball Z really was in like the 90s, but it didn't get dubbed until like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Dragon Ball Z started 87, 88.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You could definitely tell.
I did not know it was that old.
And then it got dubbed 90, I want to say 96, 97.
I think around that time,
at least in Canada and then Texas, right? That's when that dub came out. 'Cause, there were dubs before that, but we don't talk about those.
Right.
Yeah.
No, those are just like we don't mention those.
We shove them on the side of the desk and just knock them on the trash can.
Not in the trash can.
Trash can.
Question going back to the Gundam stuff. Did you watch War in the Pocket and 8th MS Team?
I haven't, but I definitely need to watch the 8th MS Team because I heard it's really good.
Yeah.
But right now I'm like in the middle of Zeta Gundam.
Nice. Okay. That one's depressing.
It is.
But yeah, go watch. I would say War in the Pocket's one of my favorites. It's I don't know. It just breaks your soul it breaks my soul every time I watch it. So, go watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely will. Yeah. But speaking of Gundam, Ellen, people say G Gundam sucks. Like it looks cool. I don't know why people.
G Gundam's cheese, man. I mean, like the fact that like, dude, it's Gundam Warriors. Like, how do you not love that, right? Like, it's so cheesy and hammy. Like it.
Oh yeah.
Like
it
is. It's such a great departure from like the other heavy like material from other Gundams. That like it's just a breath of fresh air, and it's this thing that came out before Gundam Wing. It's fine. It's the dub is what makes it like perfect though. With I mean the guy who played Domo and Kashu is now a dentist, and so he's retired from voice acting. But like,
wow.
You could never possibly think of another actor to play Domon except for that guy. So I mean, I think it stands out. So I think it's a really good show.
Yeah, for sure.
There's so many Gundam series though. There's like so many. I feel like they just keep making them out.
Yeah. I think it's like over 14 of them.
Because I know they have different series. They had Iron Blood Orphans. I think that was the last one I remember seeing, and then Gundam Builders or something like that. That's another.
Does that count?
I don't know. I'm not a Gundam person. So
I didn't like the Gundam Build Fighters. Yeah. I didn't like it. It was weird.
Yeah, I've only seen the opening. I've never actually seen the show, so I'm just seeing it from the opening. I'm like, it doesn't look too bad. And then like I see the show, and it's just like building Gundam, and you're like, oh, okay.
Nah, it's kind of cringe. I mean, the Gundam designs are really nice, but the show itself, I don't like how the Gundams are supposed to be toys. Like, I don't like how the Gumblas are supposed to be like this thing. I don't particularly care for it, but
right.
So,
yeah.
If you want to watch it, I mean, if you want to watch the most decent, like the easiest Gundam to swallow in terms of like content, it would be Gundam 00. That's the one that was Gundam 00 is like I would say the easiest for most people to consume in terms of mecha anime. It's a good show. If you take out the movie that follows it afterwards, because that one was
Was that bad?
Aliens. That's all I gotta say about that. Aliens.
They didn't work it well. It didn't work out well. Like it didn't.
No, you watch and you're like, so everything that the end of the series like led up to, like all that hard work you put into, kind of went out the door. Like it was moot point. It was
dang.
Oh, okay. So I guess they're killing off this character, even though he had his redemption arc by the end of season 2 or whatever.
So they're just taking people out just because they have nothing else to do. They're just like, oh, you go, you out.
That is a dumb reason to kill off any character, just because they don't have anything. Just let them live. It's fine. Anyways, I have opinions, but
let them live in the farm, or go retire and have a family or something like that. That's cool.
Go home, become a family man.
Right, it's like when you have like a really awesome movie with a crazy plot, and then the explanation is like time travel, or it was all a dream, or some stupid mess like that.
I hate when they do that.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, I just think like time travel is like the laziest. It's like the laziest reason you can give for any. It's just like, yeah, it was time travel. Like we could just go back. It's it's okay. Yeah, it fixed everything. Right?
Yeah, nothing. No consequence or anything. You can always change it. Don't worry. If you literally step on a butterfly here, don't worry. We go back in time. We'll get that butterfly back.
The Simpsons. No, but you know what's funny is that one of my favorite movies of all time is The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. So I know we're like giving time travel flack, but like go watch that movie.
That's a good movie. That's good. That's a good
What's it called again?
The Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, okay.
I remember catching that a couple years ago, and I was like, this is good.
Yeah. It's I mean, like Funimation owns the license right now. You can get it for like $20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's recommend. I highly recommend that. If you, it's from the same guy who did Summer Wars and The Boy and His Beast and Mirai recently.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I like The Boy and His Beast. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out, man.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So, what about you guys, man? What have you been checking out, Demetrius and
Marcus? I haven't been binge watching anything. I've been keeping up with my updates. Jujutsu Kaisen, of course. I had to put it out there because it's one of the best right now. Attack on Titan, because season 4 is ridiculous, and I'm not going to say anything because Josh is not caught up yet, so I won't spoil anything.
Please don't. I'm not caught up at all.
Let me think. Is there anything else? There's a lot of shows. I can't. Promised Neverland season 2. Yeah, I've definitely been on that since it came out. Oh, and Seven Deadly Sins season 4 and season 5 is Netflix. It's weird. That whole thing's weird. Yeah, that's it for now that I can think of.
Let me see. Me, I haven't really been binging a lot of shows. I've been probably doing more like watching, like movie watching lately. Like, what did I watch? I watched Zodiac. I watched The Love Story. Yes, I watched The Love Story. Too. What was it? Sylvie's Love. One Night in Miami, which is Regina King's directorial debut. It was really good. Far as shows, I've been kind of just like bouncing around. Like I'll go on HBO Max and just start watching like probably something from Cartoon Network. Then I'll go to Hulu, watch something. For some reason I've been feeling like really nostalgic lately. So I've been watching a lot of old stuff and just catching up. I tried to watch Adventure Time. I tried to go back and watch that. And like Alan said about Ninja Turtles, I was watching it and I was like,
it was
whatever mindset I was in when I watched this show, I see why I haven't watched it since then, because it makes absolutely no sense.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, it's just some shows like that. Like I think shows that definitely. That's why I asked if you were into like Batman the Animated Series, because for me, I've watched it recently, and it holds up. like it holds up still for me. Like that's it. You know, the only thing is with Batman, you know, he swears him down. He's not killing everybody. But if you drop somebody off of a building and they hit the ground, I don't know anybody.
Bro, I
else
swear.
Or the batarangs, man. We throw in batarang at somebody's getting hurt from that. At least
dead.
Yes.
Yeah, those are knives. Like those are knives.
They didn't walk away from that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Or him just literally doing his justice, him beating somebody's butt. Like somebody died from that because he'd be doing all kind of martial arts on him.
Right.
Yeah,
you break somebody's
all
back
kinds
and
of internal
like,
bleeding.
Right.
Talk about
and then you're
talk.
like, now talk. Right.
You're telling me all those people
I
get
can't.
Jokerized by the Joker with the Joker gas or whatever? You're telling me none of them are dead? Like,
Right?
that's a horrible way to go.
Yeah.
That's
oh
my
you
gosh.
laugh to your death, like really.
Right, because like I mean that's a horrible feeling. Like as I've watched like you know some stand up or something, and I was like laughing, and I felt like I was gonna die. I'm like,
Bruh,
okay.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So to have that be the reason, like you just laughed so hard and had a heart attack and died, like that's awful. Like I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yo, can we talk about something though? Like the Batman animated series universe, branching from Batman and then Superman and then Justice League and then Batman
Oh,
Beyond
yeah,
and all that sort of
man.
stuff. I hate what I genuinely loathe Return of the Joker.
I was just about to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's one of the best.
That messed me up.
And it still holds up. I just watched it.
Yeah.
It's a great film, and it's like it's a
Great
fascinating way to like add to the lore. But that messes you up. You're like,
Yes.
Tim Drake, my boy. Like,
Like that's messed up, man. Like,
See, I got to watch that.
that movie was amazing.
Man,
It shows you like
so good.
Batman had to deal with that for years. Like he had to deal with that for a long time, bro. Like,
yes.
I think they should make a live action version of that. Like
they're talks.
They should.
The biggest thing, Alan, is just like I just don't want DC because it's always a running theme with them. Like their animated series, animated movies, fantastic. But when you get to putting Ben Affleck in a Batman costume, they just don't know what to do at that point. You know, I'm just like,
Yo, how do you not know what to do with Superman?
Yeah.
Ever in the history of him being on screen, ever. Like
the closest we got was like Man of Steel. Closest we got was Man of Steel.
That's it.
After that, he just didn't know what he was doing with his life.
Why do they make him so freaking alien? Like the whole point is that he's one of us.
He's
Like,
grounded.
Yeah. He's like this grounded, like this very down to earth guy. Like, why did I don't know. And then,
Like I said, they don't know what to do with these characters, man. They see Superman, they're like, oh, he's super strong. Okay, we're gonna have him fight an alien in outer space. He's never gonna be on Earth. He's never gonna be on Earth. I'm just like, oh, okay. This is
who
Superman.
do we blame? Who do we blame for all this? Is it just producers just like being like, oh, we have way too much money in this? Like,
It's the studio. I just think it's the fact that they don't care because obviously they love the ground Batman walks on. Every time they're just like, hey guys, we're about to make all the money. Let's release this Batman movie. It's gonna go down. And it's just like, cool. Because even the newest Batman movie, did you see the trailer for that? The Batman, it's crazy. You already know from 5-second trailer that it's going to be an amazing movie. Superman gets nothing. Ever. They just don't care.
A Flash, nothing. Like
the Flash gets nothing. Green Lantern, they don't even talk about him. Like it's just nobody gets anything except for Batman.
Yo, can we give a special shout out to Robert Pattinson for like from getting himself out of the
Oh
Twilight, out of that Twilight divot and finally getting into Batman. Yo, that guy is Bruce Wayne. Oh my gosh,
it's amazing.
It was so good. I was on the fence. I was on the fence before getting in there, and then I saw him beat that man's butt. I was like, okay, all right.
No, he double tapped him with his
double tapped his ass.
Yes.
Over with. Like, and the guy in the background is just like crying. He's like, oh man.
He's like, oh man, I'm freaking die. And the fact that he says I am vengeance is just like.
Yeah.
It's just perfection. It really is. But everybody had the same like reaction when they said that it was going to be Robert Pattinson. You mean they were like, you mean the sparkling vampire guy? That's who it was going to be.
And they went from vampire to Batman, I guess. I mean,
they're in the same ballpark.
There you go. It's in the same ballpark. Just one sparkles significantly more than the other one.
That's circle, man.
Right?
Definitely.
Hey.
Definitely. But yeah, no, I think it's going to be good. I think I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with the. Are you big on anything in the MCU? Like, do you watch a lot of the Marvel movies, Alan?
You know what's weird is that I do. I have a confession to make, which is I haven't seen some of the ones in the middle because at a certain time there were just way too many. Like I was just like I'll read about it or whatever. And the ones that I chose to skip on were like the ones that are like required reading for everyone,
basically.
which are the following. One, I did not watch Winter Soldier.
And that's the best one.
That's a really good one.
Yeah. Shame on me. I know. I have to watch that one. I know. Spider-Man. I have not watched any of the Spider-Man. Yeah.
Whoa, nothing. Spider-Man hadn't even touched him.
No. Like I watched. Okay, I watched Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
I mean,
let's be fair.
Okay.
That's like the one to watch, right? Like,
yeah, you get a break for that one. Yeah.
You guys had Xeno on?
No, we actually haven't.
Oh, okay.
No.
We haven't been able to get it.
Nah.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
I still
have that.
every time he picks up the phone, like we call, like, and I pick up the phone, I'll always go, yo, what's up, Danger? And like that'll be my like thing with him.
Oh man, yeah.
Hey.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
He's like,
man,
nah, keep calling me that. I love it.
No, we haven't even. No, we reached out. We haven't. Hopefully, we'll get him on.
He's busy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
no, but I have. Yeah, but I really do have to watch the Spider-Man ones. I don't know. I will. I mean, it's there, right? Like I have Disney Plus, right? Like it's so weird to say that. Like to watch all the Marvel movies, you just need Disney Plus. That's
just
a weird
go to
thing
get Disney Plus.
say.
That's it.
Yeah, if you wanna be a Star Wars fan or a Marvel fan, just get Disney Plus. You get both of those. Everything is all there.
Everything.
Or if you're an actual Disney or Star, or like if you're an actual Marvel or Star Wars fan, you don't get Disney. No, I'm joking.
Right?
I was just waiting to see what the alternative was.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what's the alternative to that?
Right.
Right.
We have everything there. We're like, if you like Star Wars and you got Disney Plus, you're not a fan. Like, no.
It's all about the Blu-ray,
you
man.
fed the beast.
Right, exactly. You're a part of the problem.
You're part of the problem.
Oh man. But yeah, no, like I said, I'm definitely excited to see what they're going to do. But yeah, Alan, you got to watch the Spider-Man movies, man, because what everybody's talking about the new Spider-Man movie and how they're going to do with bringing everybody that's ever played Spider-Man, bringing them back into the movie. You got to check out the early Spider-Man movies. You got to. At least like
Tobey Maguire
Far From Home. You said what? Oh no, not that far back. I'm sure you've seen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that.
Don't tell me you haven't seen the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie.
No, I watched those all in theater. That's how.
Okay. We're not going that far back. Okay, cool.
But definitely check out
I gotta watch Venom.
Yeah, you haven't seen Venom?
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
It was okay.
It wasn't bad, but I went. I'm gonna make.
I hear it's funny. I hear it's like charming.
Yeah, it's a bromance between Eddie Brock and Venom. They have the greatest bromance. The greatest bromance ever.
Yeah, that's a
it's a rom-com.
Yeah,
like,
it's a rom-com.
In the weirdest way ever, it's a rom-com. Like just go into it knowing that it's a rom-com. Like 100%.
Continuity or any characters that should resemble their characters. Don't even go in there with that idea. Like Eddie Brock does not act like Eddie Brock, and Venom dang, he for sure doesn't act like Venom for the kind of a little bit.
Depends.
I will say I am. Oh yeah.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh no, I will say that I'm looking forward to there being a lot of carnage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. See, that's the one thing I was just like, why does he have the? Yeah, the Ronald McDonald hair. It's like, what,
that's what he looks like.
He really does.
Yeah.
Like that's how he
Yeah.
looks.
Yeah.
He has that.
Really?
Same, yeah.
Yeah, that's how he
Oh
looks.
wow! Because I was like, oh, this is bad. I didn't know. I had no idea.
I mean, yeah, no, seriously, that character genuinely just looks like Woody Harrelson with the wig on.
He really does.
He really,
Wow,
yeah.
really?
They could have picked a better character for that.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay, I stand corrected.
I'm just hoping they do him right though, because that's one of my favorite characters. So I hope you do him right.
Question for all y'all: what are your favorite? What are like your favorite personal Marvel movies? Like your number ones?
Wow.
That's hard.
I'd go first. I'll go first. I would say Spider-Man 3. Like the original Spider-Man 3 is just so charming to me. I love it.
with emo Peter.
Emo Peter.
Love it.
Yeah, I love it.
Wow.
Like it's just the black suit Spider-Man and in the Venom scene with the steel bars. It's just so.
Oh yeah,
good.
that was
pretty
sick.
Okay, yeah, now that was.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the pieces of it. You know.
I'm just so sad with the design of Venom in that movie.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, it looks so good, but it looks so off.
Yeah.
Oh.
It did. Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna say it like this. For me, I love Winter Soldier as far as like the MCU, but if it's like Marvel, I'm gonna have to say the very first Blade because it's a great movie and it's really the movie that saved Marvel and kept them from going out of business. So nobody ever gives that movie his props, but it is a great movie. And I found out like recently, if you go on YouTube, it was a deleted scene where at the end when he's on the rooftop, it was Morbius was supposed to be the next villain in the next one. But I guess they didn't work out the rights or whatever. But it's a deleted scene, and he looks across the rooftop, and you can see like Morbius on another building, and then it cut. I was like, bruh, if they would have did that. But yeah, it's Blade for me. It's Blade, definitely.
Not gonna lie, when you said Morpheus, I was thinking Lawrence Fishburne.
Like red pill or the blue pill.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But oh, go ahead. My bad.
I'm gonna have to. I kind of want to say, if we're not talking MCU, I'm gonna go with Spider-Man 2. I love that movie. That movie's amazing. I can watch that over and over. I actually did watch that movie over and over again until the DVD did not work anymore. Like I was, I was on it. That was my movie. I'd say if we're gonna talk about MCU, that's 2. I'd say Winter Soldier. I go with Marcus and Winter Soldier, and I would say I'd want to say Civil War more than anything else. I like that movie because that was like when Black Panther, he was first coming out, and that was his debut. And Spider-Man came, he debuted in that movie, so a lot of good moments. And then we had Winter Soldier and Captain America beating up on Iron Man. So 2v1, he had to take that L, so that was good, Yeah. I mean, it was unjust, but
Yeah,
I enjoyed the scene. I enjoyed seeing them toss a shield to each other while they were.
Oh, that was amazing.
While they were beating up.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
I will say the movie that I didn't like the most is Age of Ultron. Looking back, I would say that was.
Yeah, Age of Ultron was.
I didn't like it looking back. Looking back, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
Oh my goodness.
I watched the clips on YouTube and I was like, I think I'm good.
No, you dodged a bullet. You don't even need to go back and watch it.
It really could have been a great film, but they just really missed it. Like they missed a lot of stuff.
They just killed off Quicksilver for no reason because his scene was just the most stupid scene. That scene makes me mad to this day. I'm just gonna move on before I get into my fashion piece. I was about to get into it. Let me move on.
It's like if like the Hulk failed to do a pull-up. You're like, what? Like, how did you?
Which I feel like was kind of the case in what was it? It was Endgame when he was like intelligent, but he was like the smart Hulk. Or
he
whatever.
was like Professor Hulk.
The incredible Hulk. The Incredible Hulk.
And he couldn't even
The
like
Incredible Hulk.
right. He couldn't even like. He was like faking, trying to get angry. He didn't even know how to get angry anymore. I'm like, oh gosh.
Be average Hulk. Yeah, no.
Yeah, right.
But I guess for me, I would say definitely the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie. If we're talking outside of the MCU, because like my mind like exploded when that movie first came out. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, this is life. Like I just love it. And I love the design of Green Goblin. Like that was amazing.
Yeah.
And I had every memorabilia, everything that they made like a comic book from that movie. I had it, video games, figures, like I had everything from that first Spider-Man movie. And and inside the MCU, I would have to say it would. I like wow. I want to say I like it would have to be Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming. The thing I like the most about how they designed Peter Parker for the MCU, he gives me such a Marty McFly vibe, and I love it. Like that's what I like. Yeah, I just like his whole vibe in the MCU. So yeah, those are my two.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
Yeah.
No, Homecoming is really good. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. That's definitely like probably my favorite MCU movie as well.
Cause that's with Vulture, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and I love the way they did Vulture.
His performance is so like, it's like,
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was meant to play that.
No, he definitely was. So from the ones that you've actually seen, Alan, which so what is it? 2 out of the So which ones do you like out of the ones that
No, I have seen. Okay, so outside of the MCU, I want to say X2.
Okay.
X2, X-Men 2. Yeah,
that
one was great.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That one was a great movie. That one's the one I watched the DVD till the DVD stopped working.
Me too. I really did.
That opening scene though is just like Nightcrawlers. Amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it has its moments, but like I think overall, like that was the strongest until I would say Days of Future Past.
Yes, I love Days of Future Past.
Yes.
I do too. No, I think that like, you know what made like I love the movie as well as what happened at the end when you saw everyone as like the characters one last time. You're like, Jean Grey, Cyclops. You're like, dude, I want a movie about you guys again, not whatever the hell this became.
Yeah.
Right? Like, don't get me wrong, the first class, like that crew is great, but like, man, the way they ended it too. Like, why did Phoenix have to kill all these franchises? I just don't.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's like
something about Phoenix they can't get right. Man.
They introduce her and they do it so wrong each and every time. Like they haven't like looked at a comic book and was like, yeah, this is how, or the 90s cartoon. Like they did it good as a 90s cartoon. Just animate that or just live action that.
just live action that. Yeah. Netflix, get
all
on
you
that.
gotta do, like seriously.
That's all you gotta do.
I'm just like, yo, just let Jean Grey be Jean Grey for at least like a series, and then eventually, you know, like when you're doing like, you know, like later down the line, bring it in, sure.
Yeah.
But like, man, I don't know, and I also hate the fact that they like did my boy Cyclops like real dirty.
Oh yeah,
in those movies, like that character deserves a lot more than just being an asshole and being, you know, second fiddle to Wolverine. Which again, Hugh Jackman's great. Don't get me wrong, but like Cyclops is where it's at. He's
he's the leader, man.
Exactly.
And they downplay Storm in every movie they ever made.
Gosh, don't even get me started on that.
Yeah.
How many lines she have in Apocalypse? He had like what 2 lines in that movie, and like that's it. And then like
they just ruined, like Nightcrawler was ruined too. I didn't like Nightcrawler. I was just like
they made him. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say the one thing I love James McAvoy as Professor X though. He's just
And Fassbender as Magneto.
Great Magneto.
Yeah, Fassbender as Magneto is awesome.
Those would probably be like the only two people I would bring back if the MCU.
Everybody else is just losing their job.
Can choke a big one. Yeah, no. He's a future past them again.
Right, exactly.
We're doing this again. Just
we're rebooting the universe again.
Yeah.
But that's what happens like with especially with like you were talking about with Jean Grey, how they just can't get her right. They can't get the whole Fantastic Four right ever.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand. Like I don't even want to see another attempt at a Fantastic Four movie.
Well,
sorry.
too bad.
Well, yeah, too bad. It's coming, right? It's coming.
Yeah,
They already announced it. It's happening.
My goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, hopefully I'm wrong. I want to be wrong and I want to enjoy it, but it just seems like for some odd reason, those 4 characters, they just can't get them right. Like I don't know what it is.
At least they reconstituted them into other roles. So I mean,
yeah, kind of. It's like you failed at this role, so look at him as
Captain America.
Captain America.
Exactly, Captain America.
Right, they just slowly. Right, they just bleed them into other roles. Like, well, he was terrible in this, but Killmonger though, amazing, right? So,
right.
I mean, the same thing with Green Lantern going.
I would say Ryan Reynolds going
Yeah.
from the Green Lantern to Deadpool. Yeah, like
Yeah. Oh, those are great movies too.
Right.
oh yeah.
Like, but I can't say they're my favorite because they're not. They're just they're funny in their own right, and I'll watch if they're on. I'll watch it.
I'll watch it just for a laugh.
But yeah. But in the MCU, original Iron Man, I think still to this day.
That's a good
Yeah.
I watched that movie. I watched that movie 8 times in theaters.
Oh wow.
3 of those for free. So I mean, like,
There you go.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, your church pays it once, and like your friend pays like a whole pays for like a whole bunch of people, et cetera, and I think my sister paid for it once. But yeah, I saw it like 8 times in theaters. Loved it.
Awesome.
You know what I loved about it was that was the one moment, like to this day, it was the one that had real stakes where like. It was like his suit was cool, but like it was still grounded enough in reality to almost seem feasible. Now he just presses a button and
I
loved seeing it being assembled and like
same
and like getting scratched up and like it's not invincible, right? Like it's just a weapon. But like all that sort of stuff. But now again, it's just activate CG and
I think the worst move they could have made was the nano suit thing, where it just kind of
Oh, the bleeding edge. Oh, the scrimmage. Scrimmage bleeding edge. Yeah. It looked better in the comics. I'm not gonna lie. It came out of its actual skin, so it looked a little bit more like
that's
crazy.
Like
because it came from his spine, right? Like,
Oh.
So he'd always have it on him, but like I feel like that would hurt, even if you've done it like 100. It's like Wolverine's claw thing. That still probably hurts. Like he probably still gets a little, every single time.
That's
even
why
if
he's angry all the time.
I was saying that's why he's so bad all the time.
Right.
Like, ugh, oh god, it's like constant pain.
That healing factor doesn't say that.
No, but yeah, that's what's up. Alan. Nobody ever says that. Nobody ever says like favorite is like. But then again, like you probably just only watched like Iron Man 1, and that was pretty much it, right?
Oh shush! I saw 1, 2, and 3. I saw all the Thors. God, I regret watching Thor 2 though.
We usually skip over that one. When you watch it, you skip over.
I didn't watch like maybe 3 or 4 of them. All right, there's like 22 of them. Sue me.
Hey, I gotta have some get back because y'all, were going in on me earlier for JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. So.
That's to be expected.
That's well deserved, man.
Yeah, that's you said it. Yeah, that's well deserved.
Oh man. Well, look, I'm gonna say this on here to everybody because I will check it out for real this time, I will get back to you guys and let you know what I think.
It's like saying I don't like potatoes. It's like, who are you? What? Like,
I mean, no, because
I don't like French fries. Like
no, because I did feel a little weird because it's like everybody loves it, and I'm like, okay, nobody's on my side. Like I'm like, isn't this weird? And everybody's like,
yeah, it's in the title.
Like you're weird.
It's
Predators
His
like,
Bizarre
you're weird.
Adventures. It's supposed to be.
It's
what the
supposed to
frick?
be that. Like that's literally it's one of it's a show that knows exactly what it is. Like Dragon Ball Z, it knows what it is, and it literally gets wackier as it goes along. Like it just
Right. It blends like good tension and what the fuck did I just watch really well.
Yes.
Like the ways that the author pulls these scenarios out of his arse is just.
He does, because I don't even know how he came up with part 2. Like I was like,
Yo, part 5, he forgot certain. He like
yes,
he forgot the powers of the main character and then had to remake them.
yeah. He was.
It's absurd.
Or like he forgot that one dude that like got on the little cart that got pushed off into the mines. He forgot about that character.
Yo, we are not selling this to Chad real.
Yeah, we are not selling it at all. No.
Like,
I'll just say it like this. I'll say it like this. Dio Brando. That's all I gotta say. Dio is he's like most of part 1 and part 2, and he's like no part 1, part 2, part 3.
Part 3.
Yeah, I was about to say part 3. And he's probably one of the most memeable things in that show. Like Dio is just a walking meme. Like that's just what he is. Like
okay, I'm gonna have to check it out. I'll ignore the fact that people forgot characters and
if
forgot.
you had if you had to choose one to like actually watch, like you know, first, and then you're like, all right, let me see if that like sinks my interest into it, and then I can go back. Watch part 3. Part 3 is, like
the
most mainstream, recognizable JoJo.
Yeah, that's when they had all the stands, so that's became the genre moving forward. And I love part 2 though. Part 2 would always have a special place. Yes.
Yeah. So part 3 is like the most popular.
Part 3 is the most prototypical shonen you can get. It's like it resembles actual anime that you can like recognize.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. Part 2 is all over the place, and
Part 2 is like weird Indiana Jones meets like Around the World in 80 Days.
Yes, and it's I love it, but it's not for everybody.
Part 1 is like gothic horror, like rip off of Fist of the North Star.
Oh, okay.
You know,
with weird British accents. Don't watch
Noble Man. Yeah, everybody skips those 6 episodes, and everybody skips it. Like everybody's like, you can wiki it, and you'll get the same amount of information.
I say go watch it. Part 3 is shonen. Part 4 is murder mystery whodunit.
Part 5 is
part 5 is gangsters.
Yeah, gangsters. Yeah.
Part 5 is mafia. Yeah. No, the great thing about JoJo's is that it's literally like it reinvents itself by becoming a different genre every time.
Oh, okay. So there's no real, because I was trying to figure out. So there's not really any continuity between seasons. Then
there are. Dio's the constant, almost the constant in that show for the most part.
So the reason why it's called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is that each like protagonist of their part is like they have a Joe in their first name and a Joe in their second name. So it's Jonathan Joestar, and so he gets the name JoJo, and then second part is like his grandson.
Yeah,
Joseph Joestar.
Oh, okay.
Except they kind of
generational thing.
They kind of cheese it in part 5. They kind of like go, oh yeah, he's JoJo, but his like initials don't like. I think it was like Giorno.
It's like the Italian
Giovanni.
Giorno. Yeah.
Yeah,
Giorno. Like Italian Joe.
Yeah. So they kind of are like, yeah, he's JoJo, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like they had a thing going, but threw it out the window for part 5.
Okay, because I've always been confused. I'm like, okay, so, but I see it as different people every time. I'm like, who's JoJo? So like,
they all are. Yeah, they're all
JoJo.
They're all from that family line. And I'm not trying to spoil anything.
Go watch it.
No. I'll watch it. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. You guys have convinced me. I feel horrible. I will check it out. I'm going to watch it.
And you know, if they don't have all the dub, you know, don't be afraid for that sub. You know.
No, that sub's great.
Great. So,
okay, definitely. I will go ahead and check that out. And for all of our viewers and listeners out there, if you're like me and don't like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and you never actually seen it, go watch it because I am. So I'll check it out.
Timestamp here. I'll pull the timestamp here. Yeah, I'll timestamp it like every single time. Like, oh, when you say you're gonna watch JoJo, and you're like, no, I didn't say that. Timestamp.
Right. So now you have proof. But yeah, Alan, one of the last things I wanted to ask you before we, close out is what advice would you give any prospective voice actor or anybody trying to do, or acting in general, not just voice acting, but any actor?
Don't do it. Don't do it. And if you ignore that advice, good. Then you deserve to. Then you want it enough to be an actor. No. Besides, don't do it. No, do it if you want. Do it if you can do anything else though. This isn't the actual advice, but if you can do anything else in life and you can enjoy voice acting or acting as like a hobby, do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, but know what you're getting into, because like, you know, like it's hard. It's hard to, you know, like to crack it in here, and like success isn't guaranteed for everyone. Like you have to come to grips with reality that like even though this might be your dream, you know, sometimes it's not like feasible for a lot of people. Like you'll hear of a lot of success stories, but for each success story there's like 1,000 or something like that, like of people who just fade away and don't exist in the sphere anymore. You know, so that, but that's not actual advice. I would say like, and this is just like sort of a personal thing that I went through, but like my advice would be like, do your homework, like learn your stuff, learn your craft, but have the courage to make the actual first step of like auditioning and stuff like that. I think my biggest issue looking back, like my biggest regret was that I was too afraid to put myself out there until I was ready, if that makes sense. Like I just took classes. I took whatever opportunities came my way, but I didn't put myself out there. And I wish I had the courage to do that sooner. Because I played it way too safely, in my own opinion, looking back. Not a bad thing. It's just not an amazing thing either. And I think that's something you need to realize, is that you need to have courage when you like do this, right? You have to understand that you are enough as a human being, because you have the same accessibility to all the emotions that any other human being has, to the entire emotional spectrum. You are capable of acting then. That's all you need, right? If you can feel sad, if you can feel jealousy, if you can feel happy, joy, you know, ecstasy, anger, sorrow, you can do it. You can be an actor. And I think that's it. Like, you just have to remember that no matter like how scary it is, you are enough.
So just try not to compare yourself, really.
Oh, I mean, why do that? Yeah, you have your own mountain to climb, right? Like, I had a teacher who once said to me, like, who's your favorite actor? And I was like, well, it's like Johnny Young Bosch, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, do you think Johnny Young Bosch is more talented than you? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe. And he's like, you're just as talented as Johnny Young Bosch. The only difference is he's been in the industry longer than you. And so, you know, all the great equalizer is just time then, right? Like, you have the exact same amount of skill as him and talent innately. You just got to put time into it, you know? And like, you know, I've been putting in time, and I've been getting roles, and now I'm doing a podcast. So
there you go.
Hey, there you go.
And that's how it is, guys. You know, you put in the work, and you know, and you end up on the Square Roundtable podcast.
Yeah, that's just how this happens.
That's how you know you've made it. You know,
exactly.
but seriously, that's really great advice, and I think you can take that and kind of put it anywhere you want to, and I like that, you know, because a lot of the times people just think, and I know I've had it too, to where it's just like, oh man, this person is just so good, you know, just because it's natural, you know, like, no, that person put in the work to get to where they wanted to be, and now they're seeing the results. My only thing is, like, I didn't see the work that person put in, but no, like I was just saying, that's a great point, you know, because rather than just thinking that, you know, somebody's just innately good at something, and then it's like you feel deterred kind of because you think you'll never get there, but at the end of the day, that person put in the work to get to where they needed to be, and you just didn't see it. So, you know, now it's up to you to put in the work to get to where you want to be. And right. You know, so I like that message. That's good stuff, Alan.
Yeah.
So, you know, just stay. Oh what?
No, go for it. I'll say something after.
I was gonna say, just adding on to what you said, just stay in your lane and don't run out of gas.
Yeah.
Just keep gas in your tank.
Yeah. I want to say that like one of the things that I noticed, and again, like it's just from my own personal perspective, is that like no one told me I had a great voice. No one told me I was a great actor. No one told me anything. I just wanted to do it, and I just wanted to do it for me, right? Acting was a very selfish thing, and it kind of, to a certain degree, has to be sort of selfish, right? Like you need to want it for yourself rather than, like wanting to prove to others or like be famous or any of that sort of stuff, right? Like that's a dangerous road to go down through. But it's kind of like there's a business sort of message called, or like business what is it, like a business story, I guess. No, not story. It's a problem where it's called the San Francisco Chinese San Francisco Chinese food problem, which is, if you go to San Francisco and it has like a huge diverse population and like there's like restaurants everywhere of different types of like ethnic cuisines and all that sort of stuff. San Francisco doesn't need another like Chinese restaurant. But if you set it up there and you do well and you stay long enough, like people will eventually start trickling into you, into your business. And so even if there even if there is like a huge flux of actors or like a huge flux of like people within the generation wanting to become voice actors, there's room for you if you put in the work and you stake your claim. I feel like a lot of people see competition. They're like, oh my God, I'm never going to beat such and such because they're so great. And I can't even begin to touch like where they are in their career and all that sort of stuff. And then you just, like to those people, I got to say like, well, they're them, like there's one of them and you might go out like for the same things that they do, but you can outbook them in certain parts. Like you can find your own path. You don't sound like them. They don't sound like you. Like you are your own personality. Like you didn't just go through life in the shadow of this person. You went through your life as you and bring that out instead. Cause that's what people want to see. Not another impression. They want to bring, they want to hear and see your truth. And so, if storytelling is for you, stay by it and do your homework, work on it. And, like it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's about consistency. You stay long enough, like you'll do it. It'll happen, right? It's going to suck for the majority of us. But it'll happen if you stay long enough. Like the system will recognize you and let you enter. And that I feel like is almost like a guarantee for like 96% of the population of people who want to become actors. It'll happen. Like I won't guarantee like full retirement success or anything like that. But if you like, at least you'll have a shot. And like, if you can be resourceful enough to make that one win, like carry on to your next one, and the next one, that's how it's done,
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But yeah, that's a good point to make, because especially in the voice actor industry, I've seen just like from the outside looking in, and I know a lot of other people that want to do it, they see guys like you and then like Johnny and Zeno like and all me. They're like, man, well, it's for real. Like you see people and you're just like, well, man, these guys got. They have that, they have, like you talked about earlier, you have multiple roles played by one actor, because they can just do it like that. And they think, well, okay, this industry is obviously full. There's no room for me,
Yeah. No, what's funny is that, okay, so like, because I go through this, right? Like I starting out, I can kind of hear it, but like, I got a lot of people saying, "Wow, you sound exactly like Johnny when you do this role," or you sound like Johnny. I thought it was Johnny who was playing it, but it was actually you. That's really cool. And I'll get that a lot. And like, like I'm just like, at first I was like, haha, it's because we're both Korean. But like, no, I mean, like at a certain point, you know, like I'm okay with it because I knew eventually I was going to get out of that and just grow into my, like, step into my own voice and do my own thing. Yeah, sure. I have some overlap with some other actors, right? Like, you know, if I play cool characters, if I turn on the cool factor for certain characters, I can kind of see how, like, this kind of sounds like Johnny. Don't worry about it, right? Like, I got you, right? And then and you're like, oh, that kind of sounds like Johnny, but like, yeah, Johnny's different. I'm, you know, like I've booked things that he's auditioned for, and he's booked things that I've auditioned for. I auditioned for Giyu for Demon Slayer. Oh, wow. And I nailed it. And I was like, man, I'm going to get it. And there's only one person in this industry that's going to, like, if I'm not going to get it, there's only one person that can beat me out for it. And then that person got it. And it was Johnny Young Bosch. And he deserved it. You know, that's fine. But, you know, you're going to find that a lot. But, you know, you might observe that, but you can't let that buckle you, right? True. Like, it's like, oh no, Max Middleman is playing X and X, you know, character in this anime. What will I ever do? I've got nothing. It's like, well, you move on and you'll get something that he auditioned for or he doesn't audition for, right? Like, eventually he's so good that he'll move up to something bigger and better, and there'll be a void, and you can fill it. You can do whatever, right? Like, things move and things change. So, but yeah, you know, like, I think the mentality is the biggest part. Like, yeah, obviously don't be a defeatist, right? Like, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you're a defeatist, if you have a defeatist mentality from the get-go, you're not going to get anywhere, regardless of what industry you're in. You can say that about, I mean, you can say the overcrowded thing about any industry, you know, be it doctors, lawyers, you know, like whatever, right? So you got to believe in yourself. And, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm being a dead horse.
No, you're good.
Oh, good.
No, that's all good stuff. Like, I just love, like I said, asking you know, everybody that we have on this podcast that question, because it's just like people have different views, but I like the answers I get every time, you know. And one thing that rings true is just like, yeah, like you said, don't be a defeatist, you know, don't give up on yourself, and just realize that regardless of whatever career you're in, because, like, you know, all of us were in different areas, you know what I'm saying? Demetrius is an educator, you know, like I'm a chemist, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's got different things going on, but at the same time, you can feel like at a certain point that, wow, you know, this is so oversaturated, like, where am I going to fit in? But like you said, there's going to be a place for you if you just keep, you know, going forward. Like Joshua said, just keep the gas in your tank, you know, stay in your lane, keep moving forward. So that's definitely exactly. So you trust me, you weren't beating a dead horse. We appreciate it. And look, man, and it is completely it's been an honor to have you on, man. We really appreciated you
for having me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But, and yeah, before you go, man, we just want to, you know, we want you to let our viewers and our listeners know, like, everything you got going on. Where can they find you on social media, all of that good stuff?
Sure. I am currently, what am I working on right now? I'm currently still Shu Kurenai in Beyblade Burst, in the Beyblade Burst series.
Nice.
I play Kohaku in Yashahime right now. Netflix just released Kuroko's Basketball, where I played Junpei Hyuga, who's the team captain. I'm Edamame from Great Pretender, which is also on Netflix. Am I still running PR for that show? I don't know. But no, that's still my favorite show that I've ever done.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I got a few things coming down the pipeline I can't talk about, obviously. Some huge ones we're gonna have to wait maybe a couple years for. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. But yeah, if you want to check me out on Twitter, where I'm more active, it's at Alan Lee VO, ALANLEEVO. I have an Instagram, which I'm trying to figure out what to do with. But that would be it's Alanator, ITS Alanator. So yeah.
All right, that's it. Awesome. Cool. And yeah, so and it's Allinator. Alan hasn't posted since like 2002, so so
check out this new series called Naruto.
Right. Yeah, man. But all jokes aside, definitely, guys, for all of our viewers and listeners out there, we'll have all of Alan's information in the description below. So no worries there. But yeah, guys, guess what time it is, man?
Shameless promotion.
Yes, so it is time for my shameless promotional, and we are the Square Roundtable Podcast, and you can catch us every Friday on MajorZoneMusic.com at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 12 p.m. Central Time, and 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
And you can catch us on YouTube on Fridays, and if you like the video, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell underneath the video on the right side of the video so that you are notified when we post a video, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and our Facebook group. We need people in there.
No, definitely. Like we need people to talk to, man. So
yes,
definitely,
please follow us, please.
Hey, shameless promotional.
Please, come on, guys.
Right, Shane, right. Don't be like that. Come on, guys.
We know how many people are out there. Join it.
Right, exactly. Thank you. But yeah, guys, I would love before we head out, everybody go ahead and introduce themselves one more time, including our awesome guest. And yeah, my name is Chad Singleton.
Dimitri.
Josh Singleton.
Marcus.
Alan, Lee.
And this has been the Square Roundtable. We are
out.